returning to the rink.
We're excited about it.
Ice makes a triumphant comeback at the fire-damaged WFCU Center. Frost-bitten fields.
When we did our bud counts this year, we found 100% mortality.
A cold winter halts local wine production. And first flight captured on camera.
To see exactly what they go through and how they raise their young it's pretty touching.
A major milestone for these owlets.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. More than a year after a rooftop fire forced the closure of one popular community rink on the city's East End, the ice is almost ready to welcome skaters back. Bob Belichico has been following for us. Bob.
Hey, Stefanie. Yeah, it's nice to be back here at the AM 800 rink. Staff worked really hard today to put a base layer of ice down. They sealed the whitewash, and tomorrow they'll finish painting the lines. Now, the city anticipates things being back on track and people skating on this ice here at the AM 800 rink by the middle of next week. Crews have been working to repair damage caused by a fire at the WFCU Center last April. It destroyed solar panels, damaged the roof, and left the AM 800 CKLW community rink out of service. Now, after months of repair, the facility is nearing a return to action.
We're excited about it.
After 14 months off, the trick now is reestablishing the sport at the Capri Pizzeria Recreation Complex, where its second season, after being relocated from Roseland, was cut short.
We want all those curlers who didn't curl last year to come back and curl, and we're certainly looking at developing the sport. There's room for new curlers to come on board, learn how to curl.
We can't wait to get this going.
The roof above the AM 800 rink is repaired, and there is no water infiltration. The only thing missing are the solar panels.
We replaced all the lights on this rink, so we have 24 brand new lights, LED lights that are programmable.
Corey Elliott, manager of arenas, says the city normally takes ice out of one of the rinks during the summer months and will be closing the Green Shield rink. That is convenient because there still might be work needed to the low E ceiling in that rink. Low E stands for low emission, and the ceiling is designed to reduce heat transfer by reflecting radiant heat.
We just got the report yesterday, so we just need to go through it and see exactly what work needs to be done and whether it can be done during normal office or building hours, and to make sure that we don't have to cancel any of these.
With critical work complete, the city anticipates normal arena operations to continue this summer with the AM 800 and Corporal Grennan rinks, while exterior roof work continues in the background.
We'll have all the ice back as of Labor Day.
So, as it was explained to me, the first people that will be skating on this ice will likely be one of the user groups from one of the other rinks. Now, Stefanie, a lot of work, a lot of collaboration to get the rink to this point, and it's nice to see that it's almost ready to open. Back over to you.
Exciting. Okay, Bob Belichico, thank you for this, Bob. In other news, Windsor police are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect wanted in connection with an assault that left a teenager injured. Investigators say around 11:30 a.m. on May 11th, a group of teens were walking towards a restaurant on Wyandotte Street when a red Ford Mustang convertible drove past in an erratic manner. An argument reportedly broke out between one of the teens and someone inside the vehicle. Police say the Mustang then turned around and pulled into the restaurant parking lot, where the suspect got out and became involved in a physical altercation with the teen. The victim, a 16-year-old boy, was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect is described as a Middle Eastern man between 20 and 25 years old. He is wanted on a charge of assault causing bodily harm. Our harsh winter might be a distant memory for most of us, but Essex County winemakers are only just realizing the full extent of its wrath. One serious cold snap in January, followed by a frigid February, froze thousands of vines, and they won't be producing grapes this season. Let's go now to the county, where CTV's Michelle Molesky is standing by for us tonight. Michelle.
Stefanie, Lake Erie North Shore has 18 wineries. I'm told all of them suffered some form of winter damage, the proof of which is only just beginning to show. Spring has sprung in Essex County, but Old Man Winter left his mark.
The whole area of Lake Erie North Shore suffered really damaging cold. We hit -24, and in some places out here, like Pelee Island, hit -28 degrees.
For some vines, that's 10 degrees colder than they can stand.
We had bud survival anywhere from 0% for the Merlot to maybe 18% for the Gamay Noir.
What's worse, all of the Merlot vines at Cooper's Hawk are dead. They'll need to be ripped out and new ones replanted. It's a similar situation at Sprucewood Shores.
When we did our bud counts this year, we found 100% mortality.
Steve Mitchell says it's the most popular grape varieties impacted. Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, Merlot, Cab Sauvignon. None of those vines will bear local fruit this year. So why are these vines so healthy?
This is our Marquette, and the Marquette is a very cold hardy vine.
Planted along with a grape called Petit Pearl as a result of the effect of the polar vortex more than a decade ago.
These varieties are good down to minus 30 Celsius. They make excellent wine. The biggest problem for us was no one knows what they are. And so we looked at it as an opportunity for the future.
Fear not, wine lovers. Essex County winemakers are farmers, so they're prepared for situations like this.
We have about 28 months of supply of finished wines, either in bulk or in barrels or bottles, and we're going to buy some fruit from Niagara this year to keep it going.
So while the 2026 grape crop will be in short supply this year, O'Brien and Mitchell say what's not in short supply is all of the different agritourism offerings. Each of the 18 wineries have something a little bit different to offer to wine lovers this summer. And hey, maybe this is the year to try those winter hardy wine varieties. Stefanie?
Okay, Michelle Molesky, thank you for this. So here is our question of the day. Do you drink local wine? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday we asked, once the Gordie Howe International Bridge opens, will you still use the tunnel or the bridge? Out of 600 votes, 54% say no. Let's take a break. CTV meteorologist Julie Atchison joins me now for our first look at this gorgeous weather forecast. Julie.
Thanks so much. It has been a spectacular week so far, and that weather continues. It's beautiful out there this evening. Temperatures across Essex County between 24 and 25. It's a bit cooler with that wind coming down the lake. However, most of the region experiencing just an absolutely gorgeous day. So even if you were along that lake shore, as long as you had a lighter jacket perhaps on early this morning, you would have been okay. High pressure maintains its control over the Great Lakes as we head into tomorrow, and our blocking pattern holds, but it will start to break down as we edge towards the weekend. Temperatures are set to heat up as well. We'll talk about that. But as we head through the late evening, Stefanie, temperatures quite comfortable. Keep those windows open. Enjoy that fresh breeze. The winds generally out of the north and easing off. Light and variable winds for tomorrow and plenty of sunshine on the way. I'll have all your local weather details coming up in just a few minutes.
As communities across Canada mark National Accessibility Week, a Wheatley woman is raising concerns about employees using accessible parking spaces at a Leamington gas station. CTV's Chris Campbell has a story, joining us now in studio. Chris.
Yes, Stefanie, I spoke with a woman today who says the employees at a gas station have been regularly using designated accessible parking spots, making it harder for customers like her with mobility challenges. She says those spaces need to be available for the people they're intended to serve.
You know, they're not just a gas bar, it's like a variety store.
Joni LaRiviere says she first noticed vehicles regularly parked in the accessible spot outside the mobile gas station on Talbot Street East while stopping at the store. She later learned the vehicles belonged to employees.
Well, I was trying to come into the store to get a pop and a snack, and noticed that somebody was in the accessible parking spot. And when I drive by every day, I've noticed vehicles parked in that spot, and when I learned that it was employees, I went to talk to the store about it.
LaRiviere says she has spent months raising concerns with the store, corporate representatives, police, and municipal bylaw officials, but says she has yet to see a resolution.
That's very rude. Like, unless you actually have an impairment and a permit to actually be legal to park there, you shouldn't be parking there.
While gathering video for this story, CTV News observed what appeared to be an employee vehicle parking in the designated accessible parking space. A person was seen entering the business through an employee entrance before later returning and moving the vehicle to another parking space. In a statement, the municipality of Leamington says accessible parking spaces are essential for residents and visitors with disabilities, and that concerns regarding their misuse are taken seriously. The municipality also confirms it is aware of the complaint and is investigating the matter, but says it cannot give comment further while the investigation is ongoing. They did add that residents who have concerns regarding the misuse of an accessible parking space may report the matter to the municipality's Bylaw Enforcement Division or the OPP. For La Riviere, the issue is about accessibility.
When I'm having bad days and have a hard time with walking and distance, that accessible parking spot really means the big difference to me.
La Riviere says accessible spaces should remain available for customers who rely on them.
I want them to know that it's not okay. They need to not park there. They need to stop.
CTV News reached out to the Mobil station and ExxonMobil for comment, but have not received a response as of news time.
La Riviere says she hopes speaking out during National Accessibility Week will help raise awareness about the importance of accessible parking spaces and the challenges people with disabilities can face when those spaces are unavailable. Stefanie?
Okay, Chris Campbell, thank you for this, Chris. The union representing locked-out workers at Titan Tool and Die are accusing the company of trying to sell off equipment without first reaching a settlement with employees. Union members on the picket line say equipment inside the Howard Avenue plant is being sold to a third-party company, and efforts were underway today to remove it. Windsor police were on scene monitoring the situation. Workers have been locked out since August of 2025 after contract talks broke down. Unifor Local 195 President Emile Nabout says the company is refusing to provide severance pay required under Ontario law while continuing to move assets. The dispute is also before the Ontario Labour Relations Board, where a bad faith bargaining complaint is scheduled to resume on June 9th. When Council reconvenes next week, Councillor Ronaldo Agostino plans to raise the future of the city's long-dormant bus station. Agostino says he's eager to see what could come of the property once the city issues a formal expression of interest. In the meantime, he'd like to see the site's parking lot reopened for public use, saying it could help nearby businesses during peak hours. He's also proposing a more unusual idea, a temporary greenhouse on top of the old bus overhang, part of the downtown BAA's Good Greens program.
I think if we could grow some food down here and make an association with one of the greenhouses out in Leamington and try something fun, who knows what could come of that. This place has been asleep for a long time. I'd like to wake it up and get it going, and what better way to wake it up than with a greenhouse and some additional parking downtown.
Meanwhile, the city's Heritage and Heritage Standing Committee debated two high-profile developments that are currently in the works. We start at Roseland Golf Course, where a 48-unit condo building is creeping closer to reality.
We have a city policy as it relates to the sale of land. You hire appraisal, you get a certified appraisal, you know what it's worth, and you sell it for what it's worth. The fact that City Council doesn't want to do that is ridiculous to me.
Ward 1 City Councilor Fred France is questioning the transparency of the proposal. The city is selling the land at the former clubhouse to Valente Development for $1.5 million. The sale hinges on council giving approval to a rezoning application for the condos. City staff say council waived the need for an appraiser as part of the Housing Solutions Made for Windsor process. Francis warns the framework could set a bad precedent.
Because, you know, if you're willing to sell land at Roseland for undervalue, potentially, are you willing to do that at Wilstead? Are you willing to do that along the riverfront? You know, we have a policy for a reason, and it doesn't take a lot of money, and it wouldn't take a lot of time to get a professional appraiser to actually appraise the land and tell you exactly what it's worth.
We obviously need more housing, and especially on the riverfront. I mean, it's prime property, so I don't want to delay any projects.
Also being debated last night was the heritage value of the CBC building on Riverside Drive. The former home of CKLW could be largely torn down to make way for a proposed 1,600-unit residential development. The city is looking at designating the property to salvage some of the building's features, such as the green brick exterior. Staff say this is the only way to protect the property's features. We'll proceed to City Council for more discussion. Councillor Mark McKenzie says he still has questions about the building's heritage value.
I know that there was the discussion about, well, CKLW was there, and I'm like, okay, but CKLW has been in 3 different locations over the years, right? And so, you know, now they're at 1640 Olette, so does that mean we're now going to designate that building heritage as well? I've been in that building. It's not heritage by any means. So that's, again, it's a slippery slope.
With spring set to end in less than 3 weeks, the team behind the Gordie Howe International Bridge is sticking to its timeline, even if it's still not saying exactly when the crossing will open. In a statement to CTV News, the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority says the project remains on track for a spring opening. But with no date announced, the authority says testing, commissioning, and quality reviews are still underway and will help determine when the bridge is ready to welcome traffic. The 6-lane crossing was originally expected to open last year before being pushed to this spring. An ordinary day at an East Windsor sewage plant quickly changed after a slithering discovery. A ball python snake was found searching for safety inside the Little River Pollution Control Plant. The more than 1 meter long reptile was found by a worker doing their daily tasks. The snake is, of course, not native to our region and suffered some bumps and cuts along the way. It's currently receiving care at the Windsor-Essex County Humane Society, where staff have named it Wilbur.
How it got into the sewer collection system is unknown. I'm guessing it came in through one of the curbside catch basins. I doubt that it came through somebody's toilet, in my opinion.
Do you have an idea for a great story? Please share it with us. Text us at 10400. You can also send photos and video. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, high-stakes trade talks in Washington. Canada making its case for a renewed continental agreement. A tiny Windsor owl takes its biggest step yet. Its first flight caught on camera. We'll show you right after this. Trade talks are front and center today as Minister Dominic LeBlanc, who leads Canada's trade file, is in Washington. Ahead of the high-stakes meeting, he sent a letter to the United States and Mexico calling for a long-term renewal of the Continental Trade Agreement. Here's CTV's Abigail Beeman.
Minister, what are the goals of this meeting?
The goals of this meeting is to be able to tell you how well it's gone when we finish at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
The Canada-U.S. Trade Minister and Chief Negotiator in Washington to talk with the top U.S. trade rep, Jameson Greer. Dominic LeBlanc issued a letter to the U.S. and Mexico officially stating Canada's recommendation for a 16-year renewal of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Free Trade Agreement. While a delegation from Manitoba was also here Tuesday, separately meeting with other U.S. trade officials.
There's clearly a path forward. There's clearly an importance for both countries as well to find a solution to this. So, I think we heard clearly what some of those irritants were. I think there's a path that we can make these kind of go away as well, though.
The U.S. has made its irritants known. The booze ban, supply management, and the Online Streaming Act high on the list, with one source today quoting frustration from U.S. officials who said dealing with Canada has been a roller coaster.
He seems to go and socialize and come back empty-handed while the Mexicans have been in formal negotiations, eating our lunch for the last 6 months. I am concerned that Mr. LeBlanc goes down at a time when Mark Carney has led us into the only recession in the G7.
The Prime Minister, meanwhile, tried to downplay the idea Mexico is further ahead in talks.
There's a series of issues, technical issues that they have with Mexico, they have with us, which is why there's a bifurcated discussion. So 30 issues or so with us, more than almost 60, I think, with Mexico at current count. And so we're working through a series of those issues.
Mexico has already wrapped up one round of trade talks with the U.S. with 2 more set, leaving many worried about where that leaves Canada ahead of a July 1st deadline. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Washington.
The U.S. president, meanwhile, has found a new reason to revive his 51st state rhetoric. The news that Canada is in a technical recession. Here's CTV's Rachel Aiello.
The U.S. president is at it again, taking to Truth Social last night to call Canada the 51st state. A message amplified this morning by the American ambassador to Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney said despite the rhetoric, it's an administration Canada has to work with.
We take the administration as it is and are working together in a number of areas.
Canada strong.
This less than a week after Carney said a strong Canada would help make America great again. And that line was one U.S. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra said was worth repeating. Asked what he makes of Donald Trump using recession talk to revive the annexation taunt, Pierre Poilievre called it ridiculous.
We have to make sure that we don't allow ridiculous comments like that to distract us from the very real suffering that Canadians are experiencing. The regret that Mr. Carney has created this weakness going into formal negotiations.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford also pushed back, while noting Ontario created 380% more jobs than the U.S. per capita in April.
Yeah, here he goes again. Here goes President Trump again, 51st state. I get tired of that guy.
These Canadians weren't worried about the U.S. trying to use our economic slowdown as leverage.
We got lots of opportunities here. We are a country with minerals. We are a country with professionals.
Canadians will have none of it.
Does Trump even know what leverage is?
This is not just Canada that's experiencing the economic issues. It's a worldwide thing.
While the Canadians we spoke to didn't express the same concerns, today the opposition called on Carney to present a plan to reverse the recession so that Canada can go into this summer's trade talks in a better economic position. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
MPPs are getting an extra long break this summer as the legislature rose today following a short session. Legislatures won't be returning to their seats until late October. Siobhan Morris reports.
It's the pageantry that puts a period on the spring session of the Ontario legislature. Just 30 days inside Queen's Park, packed with controversy for Premier Doug Ford and his government.
He spent their money on a luxury private jet. He sold out the Toronto waterfront to American investment bankers. And he changed the laws of this province to hide his cell phone records.
By the time MPPs are all back together, leaves will be falling off the trees. The legislature on recess until October 27th.
It's not a break. We are going to be extremely busy with public hearings, with committees, with conferences. You will see MPPs in every corner of this province.
The Premier defends his work ethic. He says his schedule is packed, including with work trips to the U.S.
Rather than sitting here and arguing with each other, we're actually going to get out there and talk to the people and start bringing more jobs to Ontario.
But critics argue it's more about ducking accountability.
It's wrong. And the government's just getting the habit of doing this. They don't want to be here. They don't want the scrutiny.
There is a second part of the government's justification of waiting until late October to reconvene.
We don't want to interfere in the municipal elections.
Opposition leaders counter that in the last few weeks, the government's expanded the powers of regional chairs, muscled in on the deal governing Toronto's Island Airport.
They directly interfered in Toronto elections back in 2018. So it's BS if the government's not bringing us back because they don't want to interfere in municipal elections.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Last year, we introduced you to Riverside resident Chris Jacobson and his backyard cameras, offering a rare look inside an eastern screech owl nest. Now there's a new milestone to celebrate. The newest owlets have begun venturing out on its own, taking its first flights into the world. And as CTV's Travis Fortnum reports, every exciting moment was captured on camera.
In a Windsor backyard, a month-old eastern screech owl works up the courage to leave the nest for the very first time. A monumental step in an owlet's life, one its sibling took earlier this same spring morning. Now it's taking in the world from a nearby branch. Their departure all caught on cameras set up throughout Chris Jacobson's backyard.
I don't think I ever saw an owl before this started, and now I kind of live in the owl house all winter and all through the spring. It's like I'm there.
Jacobson built his first backyard owl house 8 years ago after noticing the birds seemed to love the neighborhood. The cameras came a few years later.
To see exactly what they go through and how they raise their young it's pretty touching.
And now he shares regular video updates through nesting season, offering thousands of people from all over a rare, up-close look at the mysterious birds.
I try to post in the morning, and people get to see that first thing in the morning, and hopefully they see it before all the crazy news that's going on in the world, and it just seems to make their day.
Jacobson says a female owl typically moves into the house in the fall, spending the winter there. Mating season begins in late February. This year, 4 owlets hatched in early May. This one's already left the nest, becoming the 16th young owl to fledge from Jacobson's backyard since he put up that first owl house. With this little guy getting ready to be the 17th, and 2 more still waiting inside.
And then by fall, we'll have another adult here, and it'll start all over again.
For Jacobson, the project has become more than a hobby. It fills his days in retirement, connects him with people across North America, and gives others a chance to start their day with a little wildlife wonder. Travis Fortnam, CTV News.
Statistics Canada is beginning in-person follow-up visits with households that have not yet completed their census. Millions of Canadians have already responded online, on paper, or by phone. Census enumerators will begin contacting households that did not fill out the questionnaire by phone and by going door to door. They can also assist people in completing the form. The census information from homes across the country provides data to help guide decisions about programs, services, and infrastructure. Canada's main stock index reached a new record high today, helped by gains in the energy sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 435 points. In New York, the Dow added 228. The Nasdaq is up 7. The Canadian dollar gained a modest 0.02 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold is up more than $13 an ounce, and oil added $1.60 a barrel. Canada was winning the fight against nicotine addiction, but the trend is turning. Coming up, why is nicotine use climbing once again?
Sunshine holds as we push through the rest of the week, and temperatures are heating up. We'll hit 30 degrees by Thursday. The next opportunity for rainfall moving in over the weekend. Thank you to Rudy Horvath for sending this photo in from Lakeshore.
Julie joins us again for a beautiful looking forecast. Julie.
Thanks so much. We've just been treated to some absolutely spectacular weather. I think this may have been one of my favorite weeks so far this year. We've had beautiful sunshine. It's the Goldilocks kind of weather, not too hot, not too cold out there, but we will see a day-to-day warming as we edge closer to the weekend. Today coming in a bit above normal, but we still have that beautiful fresh breeze last hour out of the east and northeast. A bit of an uptick in those winds, and they'll ease off as we head through the evening. We remain under the influence of high pressure at the surface and in the upper atmosphere. We have the blocking pattern that's been holding. Now, Western Canada has been dealing with some heavy rainfall, so they're on the western periphery of this block. So what happens is when things aren't moving, areas get under heavy amounts of rainfall, and that's what's happened in through Alberta. They've been under the influence of low pressure, and rounds of rainfall really plaguing that province. As we move further east, the Great Lakes Basin under this beautiful stretch of clear conditions, and it is cool in Western Canada and Eastern Canada, with some showers moving through Nova Scotia and Newfoundland tonight, even breaking some overnight record cold low temperatures. We are on the good side of this beautiful blocking pattern, but it will slowly break down as we push toward Friday. By Friday night, we do have the chance for showers, but it looks like the main rain will hold off until Saturday and Sunday. At this point, we could use some rainfall. So you can see the warmth that's in place across the Great Lakes, and still quite cool. Calgary area, again, just single-digit temperatures with heavy amounts of rainfall. As we push further eastward, you can see temperatures in through southern Manitoba approaching 30 degrees, and that's where we'll be as we head toward Thursday and Friday. Overnight, nice and comfortable, a bit milder than it was last night, but not by much. 10 degrees across most of Essex County, and as we head towards Chatham, Kent, anywhere from 8 to 9 degrees in those outlying rural areas. Not a lot to show you on the next 48-hour model, but you can start to see signs of the block breaking down because the rain is able to push a bit further eastward and the cloud cover. So the rain will start to invade northwestern Ontario. Eventually, we'll start to see the weather maker move in for us, but again, not until Friday night. Saturday is where we'll introduce even the probability for showers. So feeling beautiful and dry for your Wednesday, 27 degrees, so a couple degrees warmer than it was today, heating up. The winds will be light and variable through the day. Our Enercare forecast over the next 7. Thursday, sunshine. We could see our first 30-degree day. It's going to be hot. You'll feel the difference, that's for sure. By Friday, the humidity really starts to kick in, the winds coming in out of the south. Then the rain rolls in for Saturday and Sunday, potential for showers lingering into Monday. I'm wondering if these probabilities are a bit low, especially for Saturday. The latest forecast model looks fairly wet through the day, so I'll keep you posted, and we could be pumping that up just a bit. 27 to 28 degrees as we head into Sunday, Monday, and a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, and 29. Enjoy this gorgeous stretch. It continues right through until Friday.
Back in 2018, Health Canada set a target that fewer than 5% of Canadians would be using tobacco by the year 2035. Progress was being made on that, but as CTV's Pauline Chan tells us, new products mean nicotine use is on the rise again.
Imperial Tobacco launched the first nicotine pouch in Canada in 2023. They used lifestyle advertising with happy young people in a social setting or in association with athletics, just like cigarette lifestyle advertising of the past.
So now, while tobacco use is declining, the Canadian Cancer Society says nicotine use is once again on the rise, especially in young people.
The overall trends in nicotine use are very discouraging. Among high school students in grade 12, Canada-wide, 27% are vaping. That is stunningly high.
They're asking health officials to set an additional target of under 5% nicotine use by 2045.
Part of the concern is that vaping products and nicotine pouches have become gateways to nicotine addiction. And once you're addicted, you might be addicted for life. You might be switching later to smoking or other tobacco products or to vaping.
Vaping is particularly high among teens and young adults. For nicotine pouches, it's people in their 20s.
As of 2022, we have 730,000 Canadians who vape who have never smoked. That's undoubtedly higher today.
The message is aimed at federal and provincial health authorities.
Across the country, we should have minimum age 21 for tobacco and e-cigarettes, as PEI has done. There should be a ban on promotional incentives and price promotions, as Nunavut has done. Smoke-free outdoor places in all provinces. A ban on online sales, higher tobacco taxes, fewer retail locations, and a national ban on flavors in e-cigarettes.
The Canadian Cancer Society says tobacco kills about 46,000 Canadians a year and is a leading preventable cause of cancer, stroke, heart disease, and more. Pauline Chan, CTV News, Toronto.
As the harmful impacts of social media become more clear, parents are looking for ways to keep their children safe while also allowing them to take advantage of modern technology. Now, as CTV's Kimberly Johnson shows us, one Ottawa mom says she's found a simple solution.
What Teo Knight loves about his cell phone is being able to listen to his favorite music.
I just need headphones in my phone just to listen to my own music.
And while this Android phone may seem like any other, it's actually set up in a way that limits his access to certain content. No social media, no app store, and no internet browser. Just the ability to call, text, and access Spotify.
We want them to have access to music. We want them to be able to text us when soccer practice ends early. That doesn't mean that we want them watching endless videos off by themselves kind of thing.
He has a playlist that's for like his before soccer that pumps him up.
It's part of a pilot project started by parent Anne Fizette, which she has dubbed Boom Track.
I was just trying to figure out how can I create something that would satisfy him and what he needs in terms of like the developmental milestones that he's hitting.
and at the same time protect him.
She purchased an Android phone and when setting it up used a management device on her computer to control what gets placed on the phone. It's similar to what workplaces will put on employees' phones to restrict some apps or abilities.
This isn't something incredibly new. It's just we haven't used it in terms of for kids.
Still, one tech expert warns the smartphone technology still exists under the surface of the phone, and parents should be cautious.
Any tech-savvy kid can go online and figure out how to bypass them and regain access to app stores and browsers and other features.
Today, Fizette says that she has nearly a dozen parents participating in the project. She's currently covering all of the setup costs, but hopes to expand this to a business if there's enough interest.
It feels like I'm actually part of everything and I'm not missing anything.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
A dubious distinction for Windsor still ahead. Why the city ranks among Canada's most forgetful. Florida has become the first American state to sue OpenAI and its CEO Sam Altman, accusing the tech company of misrepresenting the safety of its ChatGPT platform.
For endangering our kids and deceiving parents into believing that this application is safe for use. It's clearly not.
The lawsuit cites a deadly shooting at a university in Tallahassee last year, as well as several other incidents where ChatGPT allegedly provided information to people who went on to carry out violent acts. The lawsuit accuses OpenAI of deceptive and unfair trade practices, negligence, and violating product liability laws. Florida's legal action comes more than a month after 7 lawsuits were filed against OpenAI by families of victims of the mass shooting in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. Both the company and CEO, Sam Altman, are accused of ignoring the shooter's troubling interactions with ChatGPT. 8 people were killed, including 6 children, when a teen opened fire at a high school back in February. Alberta's premier says it will cost her province hundreds of billions of dollars to separate from Canada. CTV's Tyson Fedor has more on Daniel Smith's push to keep Albertans informed on the cost of potentially leaving Confederation.
Premier Daniel Smith says Alberta would need to assess almost everything found at a national level to determine a financial cost to separation.
We now have a 5% NATO commitment. We've never had a national defense before. What would that cost? That's about $25 billion. We'd have to take over OAS and child tax benefit, probably another $10 or $15 billion. We'd have to set up the infrastructure for CPP and EI.
The UCP government says Alberta's share of the national debt is around $170 billion with $10 billion annual interest payments. The premier says the cost will be enormous if Albertans vote to start the process of leaving Confederation.
I think it's responsible for us to be very forthright about the costs associated with what it is that is being proposed here, so people can make an informed decision.
Alberta Finance Minister Jason Nixon is expected to have a cost analysis sometime this summer ahead of October's referendum. Next month, one prominent pro-separatist promises to release a white paper outlining the policy and finances of independence.
I think that it's important to have the discussion, and it's been going on for a while, and people are going to do what they want to do, so let them, I guess, and see what happens.
It's a big waste of money. I've been here all my life. I'm Canadian.
On her radio show over the weekend, Smith says she takes the separatists at their word, at least in terms of petition support, even though 301,000 signatures have not been validated by Elections Alberta. It comes as the organization says there has been misunderstanding and misinformation around Thomas Lukaszik's Forever Canadian petition, which asked Albertans if they want to remain in Canada.
There was no clear idea of what no meant. The referendum question proposed was, do you want to remain in Canada, yes or no? And so we had to do some work on defining what no meant.
Elections Alberta says in a statement that the proposal put forward by Thomas Lukaszik did not seek to amend the Constitution or propose new legislation. The only available option for the initiative was a policy proposal.
Instead of doing the right thing and resolving this issue in the legislature, the premier is trying really hard to appease the separatists, and she's putting us through a $90 million exercise that is going to divide this province and detract from investment in this province.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Uber has released its 2026 Lost and Found Index, offering a look at the items riders left behind in vehicles across Canada over the past year, and Windsor has been named the second most forgetful city. Phones, wallets, and bags top the list of the most commonly forgotten items, but Uber says some riders also left behind some unusual things. They include a 15-pound frozen turkey in Toronto, a full set of goalie pads in Edmonton, and a violin hard case in Montreal. Uber says Saskatoon has taken the top spot as Canada's most forgetful city.
It's the return of the 89X Birthday Bash. Celebrate with us on September 4th at the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor with performances from Default, the Bluestones, and Fionn. Enter online at ctvwindsor.ca for your chance to win a pair of tickets.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Tour the world without leaving the region. Carousel of Nations returns for 2 weekends. Enjoy amazing performances, traditional music, and iconic festival food. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kettner. Now, Melanie, let's return to that story about local grapes.
That's right. So as Michelle reported earlier, local wineries have suffered winter damage because of how cold it was this past year. What's more, it's the most common grape varieties that are impacted. In January, temperatures were well below the -19 degrees that most vines can handle. Some are a complete write-off, while others will hopefully bear fruit next season. So it all begs the question, will the loss of local grapes this year lead to higher prices for wine lovers?
Wineries will eat the loss and the cost of this. It also will require a bit more of a cash outlay to buy grapes rather than grow them, but that's not going to be passed on along to the consumers.
Now, there are some kinds of grapes that are made to handle those cold temps. Those details are in Michelle's online coverage at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Okay, and we also have an online story, Melanie, about a theft investigation, this in South Windsor.
Yeah, so a man returned from a weekend trip to discover his vehicle was stolen. Now, Windsor police are asking for the public's help finding the person responsible. Officers say the suspect was seen walking northbound on Huntington Avenue from Medina Street East around 10 p.m. on May 22nd. Anyone with video in the area is asked to submit it to police. And in our social spotlight, here's one way to stay fit at work. Love this. These employees at Fitness World Canada exercise in their office using their desks and chairs as equipment. They say taking workout breaks is just part of the job. This video has gone viral with nearly 20 million viewers, most concerned about their safety in the workplace, Stefanie.
Yeah, definitely. I think if our boss saw us doing some of these things out here, we'd get in a little trouble, yes, for safety concerns. But I mean, like, you can take the stairs. I know some people at the office here, we have 6 flights of stairs. Maybe you can do some lunges. That is a little safer.
Yeah, even just standing up is good.
But I love the idea of exercising at work.
Exactly.
Okay, how can viewers submit a video for this trending?
So they can email it to us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Okay, and that's what's happening now. Thank you, Melanie. A strange good luck ritual in Italy literally wore a hole in this famous bowl. Coming up, the unusual restoration project. Julie joins us one last time with her exclusive 7-day forecast. Julie.
Thanks so much, Stefanie. The beautiful weather continues with lots of sunshine, low humidity heading into your Wednesday. 27, our Enercare forecast for your Thursday. Heating up, we could see our first 30-degree day. Friday, sunshine and 30, feeling like the mid-30s, so the humidity creeping back in. Rolling through the weekend, showers. This is the system developing in the American Midwest, and we have the chance for rain. Possibility of some thunderstorms Saturday into Sunday. Daytime highs from 25 to 27, and the chance for rain will linger into Monday. But we are shifting gears into summer-like conditions. Early next week, 28 to 29 degrees, and it will feel like the low to mid-30s. Stefanie, back to you.
Okay, Melanie, what are we working on for the 11 o'clock newscast tonight?
Yeah, this is a good one, Stephanie. So we'll have more on that surprising discovery at the East Windsor sewage plant. The meter-long live python is recovering at the Humane Society. Staff are helping her shed and regain strength after what they call a stressful journey through the system. Robert Lothian, of course, is following that story.
Okay, thank you. Finally, tonight, some lucky charms come in the form of maybe a rabbit's foot. In Milan, apparently, they're a lot bigger. Correspondent Jeremy Roth explains.
A recent restoration went viral after taking place inside a shopping center in Milan, Italy, described as one of the oldest in the world. It wasn't a structural renovation, but instead restorative work on a floor tile mosaic of a bull whose privates had been worn away completely by visitors exercising a bizarre local tradition. According to the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II's website, visitors are invited to spin their heels 3 times around on the bull's testicles, calling it an ancient city ritual to invoke good luck. But years of foot traffic had left a literal hole in the work. So, according to the city's Facebook page, a small construction site was set up and an experienced restorative craftsman went to work hoping to return the marred mosaic to its former virile glory. In other quirky art-related news, a museum exhibit showcasing original works in New York City has gone to the dogs. Or, well, to be specific, dog food. The exhibit, which recently debuted at the AKC Museum of the Dog and is sponsored by Royal Canin, showcases well-known masterworks impressively recreated using only dog kibble. Headlining the exhibit through June 9th, uniquely reimagined pet food paintings such as the Mona Lisa are enough to give art lovers and dog enthusiasts alike something to scream about. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Who knew that dog food could have multiple purposes?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very interesting concept.
It is. I don't know. Maybe it sparked during COVID when some people had extra time on their hands. I don't know. Anyways, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
And for updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11. Good night.